Good morning, Cat, and thank you for being so adventurous in your choice, um, and for giving me such flexibility as well. Really appreciate it. Um, so, uh, First off, uh, oh, it's from T.S. Eliot's poetical play, A Murder in the Cathedral, which deals with the assassination of Archbishop Thomas à Becket in, I think, 1189. Yeah, I don't know, I'll have to check that. This was the pivotal moment in relationships between the king and the church in medieval England. And the play is all about about the murder of him and the recriminations that followed. And there's a nice bit about death, surprisingly. Okay, I'll crack on with this. This is quite late on. The body's been dragged away from the cathedral, and it's like a Greek play, because Eliot was heavily classical, despite being very modernist. There's a chorus in this, i.e., a group of people who recite observations on what they have seen, on what we have seen. So I'll read what they say after the murder. So, T.S. Eliot, A Murder in the Cathedral. Chorus. While a dies ira is sung in Latin by a choir in the distance. Numb the hand and dry the eyelid. Still the horror, but more the horror than when tearing in the belly. Still the horror, the more horror than when twisting in the fingers, than when splitting in the skull. More than footfall in the passage, more than shadows in the doorway, more than fury in the hall. The agents of hell disappear. The human. They shrink and dissolve into dust on the wind, forgotten, unmemorable. Only is here the white, flat face of death, God's silent servant. And behind the face of death, the judgment. And behind the judgment, the void, more horrid than the active shapes of hell. Emptiness, absence, separation from God. The horror of the effortless journey to the empty land, which is no land, only emptiness, absence, the void, where those who were men can no longer turn the mind to distraction, delusion, escape into dream, pretense, where the soul is no longer deceived, for there are no objects, no tones, no colours, no forms to distract, to divert the soul from seeing itself foully united forever. Nothing with nothing. Not what we call death, but what beyond death is not death, we fear. Who shall plead for me? Who shall intercede for me in my greatest need? Dead upon the tree, my Saviour, let it not be in vain thy labour. Help me, Lord, in my last fear. Dust I am, to dust I am bending, from the final doom impending. Help me, Lord, for death is near. And I made a factual mistake there. I'm so sorry. That's actually just before he's murdered. That's like the scene setting for the actual attack. So I'll have to read that again to. No, not now. I mean, I'll have to read it to myself again to remember the plot. And because you are fantastic and a wonderful person to know, a little bit extra, and this will be easier to read because it is from Eliot's book of prose. And surprisingly, he knew a lot about various things. And here is a very short passage that he writes from the book The Use of Poetry and the Use of Criticism from 1933 on imagery in poetry. And I haven't actually read this properly through yet, so I might make a mistake. Right. Only a part of an author's imagery comes from his reading. It comes from the whole of his sensitive life since early childhood. Why, for all of us, out of all that we have heard, seen, felt, in a lifetime, do certain images recur, charged with emotion, rather than others? The song of one bird, the leap of one fish, at a particular place and time, the scent of one flower, an old woman on a German mountain path, 6 ruffians seen through an open window playing cards at night at a small French railway junction where there once was a water mill. Such memories may have symbolic value, but of what we cannot tell, for they come to represent the depths of feeling into which we cannot peer. We might just as well ask why, when we try to recall visually some period in the past, and we find in our memory just a few meagre, arbitrarily chosen sets of snapshots, the faded, poor souvenirs of passionate moments. Gosh, that was even better than I expected it to be. Yeah. You won't be surprised to know I've been thinking quite a lot about memory and stuff recently. Anyway, I shall leave that there and wish you a very happy and productive day. Bye bye.